Hello, welcome back to the second part of exercises 1.1 from the book of your 12th standard. Now we will see the second part, which is from question 6 up until 12. So the sixth question says that 10 raised to x plus 7 raised to x minus 14 raised to x minus 5 raised to x, everything divided by 1 minus cos of 4x. So we need to simplify the numerator first, which is we can write 10 as 2 times 5 plus 7 raised to x minus we can write 14 as 2 times 7 and we can write 1 minus cos of 4x, which is the formula for 2 sine square 2x. Basically you know that cos of 4x will be 1 minus 2 sine square x. So if we substitute that, you get this value. Now we'll again try to simplify these two and we'll get what are the common terms out. So we can write this as 2 raised to x into 5 raised to x. So what we can have over here is 5 raised to x we can have common over here. So we can write 5 raised to x. So in here we will have 2 raised to x and from these terms we will have minus 1, which is this case. Also we can take 7 raised to x common from here, which is plus 7 raised to x. Inside the bracket we have 1 minus 2 raised to x. Everything divided by 2 sine square 2x. Now watch carefully. Since we have these two terms but in opposite order, we can change this sign, which is multiplying by minus, and then we can change this term to 2 raised to x minus 1. So now we have 2 raised to x minus 1 in common and 5 raised to x minus 7x common. So we can write this as 5 raised to x minus 7 raised to x inside, and we have taken 2 raised to x common. Everything divided by 2 sine square 2x. Now in order to do this, you need to know a formula, which is k raised to x minus 1 upon x limit x tends to 0. This can be stated as, so in order to know this, you need this formula, which is limit x tends to 0, k raised to x minus 1 upon x can be written as log of k. Okay, so we'll apply this over here and we'll try to simplify all the terms. So what we have is 5 raised to x. So 5 raised to x, we can subtract 1, and if we add 1 we have to take minus sign common. So 5 raised to x minus x, so divide and multiply it by x. Now if you take minus sign, you will get 7 raised to x minus 1, everything divided by x and multiplied by x. So if you simplify this, you can cancel out x, you have minus 1, then you have a minus sign, and then you can get the plus 1 over here. So minus 1 and plus 1, so essentially we have done no difference to it. So these terms we have got. Now everything multiplied by 2 raised to x minus 1. So we can write this as 2 raised to x minus 1, everything divided by x times x, whole term divided by 2 into sine square 2x. So we can write this as sine of 2x times sine of 2x, and essentially what we can do is divide this by 2x, here again divide this by 2x. So since you have divided, you can multiply it by 4x square, which is basically 2x square into 2x square. So now watch carefully what happens. This term will become log of 5, since we know this formula, log of 5 minus log of 7, but we have an x common over here. So we can take that x common out, minus log of 7, and we have x common out, and this will become log of 2, and we have an x also over here. So you see these terms, you have x into x, which is x square, and then you have log of 5 minus log of 7, which you also can write as log of 5 upon 7 times log of 2, everything divided by, now see these terms, this is essentially sine of theta upon theta, which is 1, and this is also 1. So what you have is x square, which is this, divided by 8. So x squared and x squared will get cancelled, and what you have is log of 5 upon 7 into 2 upon 8. So this is your final value. But what are we given? we have given this value which is at f of 0. So basically f of 0, which is 10 upon 7, is not equal to limit x tends to 0 f of x, which is this function, which is our value as log of 5 upon 7 times log of 2, everything divided by 8. So we can say that as this function is discontinuous. Okay, we have the 7th question which will take less than 20 seconds to solve. Let's take f of x, limit x tends to 0 f of x. We can write this as limit x tends to 0. What is f of x? Sine of x minus cos of x. You can directly put on the values. So sine of 0 will be 0 and cos of 0 will be 1. So your value is minus 1, which is equals to f of 0. So your function is continuous. Now we have the 8th question and we'll use the L'Hopital's rule. So in this case we'll use the L'Hopital's rule, where I have just written L rule. So in this case we have to check the function continuity at x equals to 0. So let's take the example. So limit x tends to 0 of f of x, limit x tends to 0 of, we'll again write the same function before using L'Hopital's rule. So this is basically the same function I have written. Now we need to differentiate the numerator independently and denominator independently. So we can say that log differentiation will be, log f of x will come down, so 1 upon 2 plus x, and then we have to differentiate 2 plus x. So 2's differentiation will be constant, so it is 0, and plus x will be 1, minus log 2 minus x differentiation will be 2 upon 2 minus x times minus x differentiation will be minus 1, everything divided by, now we have to differentiate tan x. So tan x differentiation is sec square x. Now watch carefully what is happening over here. So the actually x is tending towards 0. So when you plug in 0 over here, you will get 1 upon 2 minus of minus, which is plus 1 upon 2. So this is basically limit x tends to 0. So when you plug in 0 over here, what you'll get is 1 upon 2 plus 0 minus, and minus of minus we will get plus 1 upon 2 minus 0, everything divided by, what is sec square x? Sec square x is nothing but 1 upon cos square x, and when you plug in what is cos of 0, it is 1. So basically sec square x at 0 will be 1. So we have everything upon 1. So what we have is 1 upon 2 plus 1 upon 2, which is basically 1, which is as given as f of 0. So we know that now limit x tends to 0 f of x is equals to f of 0. So when this condition is satisfied, we can say that this function is continuous. Now we will take the 9th and the 10th question simultaneously. Now we have the 9th and 10th question, and let's see how we can do this. Okay, so 1 minus sin x upon pi by 2 minus x whole square. If we use L'Hopital's rule, it is easy to get the answer and we can do it in 1 or 2 steps. But let's try to simplify it further. So we can put pi by 2 minus x as something, we can call it as t. So let pi by 2 minus x, we can put it as t, right? So let's call this let. Okay. So what will happen is, since x is tending towards pi by 2, so if x is going towards pi by 2, what will happen? Pi by 2 minus pi by 2, then t will tend to 0. So when x is going towards pi by 2, then t will go towards 0, right, essentially. And what can be termed as x? Well, x is nothing but, see, if x goes on this side, if you add x on both sides, we can subtract t, which is pi by 2 minus t, right? So now where do we have x? So either we have to get the equation completely in the form of x or completely in the form of t. So we have to substitute t in over here. So we can say this as, So we have x, so 1 minus sine of, what is x? Pi by 2 minus t, pi by 2 minus t, everything upon t. Now what is sine of 90 minus theta? Well, sine of 90 minus theta will be cos of theta, but it will be positive since it is in the first quadrant. So this will become 1 minus cos of t. So this is 1 minus cos of t, everything divided by t. And now you know that when this limit t is tending towards 0, since we have changed the limit thing over here, since this step, when x is tending towards pi by 2, so the limit will change from x tends to pi by 2 to t tends to 0. So t is tending towards 0, and you can immediately find out by using L'Hopital's rule. 1 minus cos of theta will be, when you differentiate it, it will become sine of theta upon 1. So sine of 0 will be 0. So since the value is 0, you can say this as when f of pi by 2 is not equal to limit x tends to pi by 2 f of x, and hence this function you can say it as discontinuous. Now coming on to the 10th problem, which is very easy if you do it graphically, but if you look it from a perspective of modulus or the absolute values, it is going to give you some problems. So let's take what is the function, okay, in terms of graph and in terms of real values. Let's say that we'll just rub this off and we'll see how this becomes. So I hope you have taken down the screenshots in order to understand what is the solution. So if you take x upon mod of x, well, in this case you can say that this mod of x is always going to have a positive net value, but you can see that x is not equal to 0, right? So x is not equal to 0 in this case, but it can be positive or negative, and depending upon what is positive and negative, there are going to be two different values. So I'll just write it down over here. So let's say if x is positive and if x is negative. So let's say if x is positive, like plus 3, plus 8, plus 15, anything. So what will become? This numerator will become positive and this denominator will also become positive, right? But it will be same, like the net value will be same. So let's say if this is 15, this will also become 15. So the value will become anything upon anything, x upon x will be positive 1, right? And in this case, like if the x is negative, see numerator will become negative, but denominator will stay positive, right? And this essentially will give you minus sign, so it will become minus 1. So when you see that when x is greater than 0, when x is greater than 0, the value is becoming exactly plus 1, right? The y value is exactly plus 1, something over here, except this value. So this is becoming like this. And when the value is negative, it is becoming minus 1. And what are we given? That it is equals to c. So c can be anywhere. C can be like, it can be anywhere on the number line of y, and it can be, c can be anywhere. So you can see that there is no actually continuous function going on over here. It is continuous at these 2 points and also at the c point. So you can directly tell from this function that even if you try to put in the values like limit x tends to 0 positive f of x, then it will become x upon x, which is equal to 1. And in second case, limit x tends to 0 negative f of x minus of x upon x, which will become minus 1. And since these two are not equal, you can say that this function is discontinuous. So we have finished off this video, and in the next video we will try to go from 11 to 15 of this particular exercise question number 1. And in the second and the third video, we will try to cover up the question 2 and question 3 from your particular exercise 1.1. Thanks for watching.